Hello students, welcome to the class of Environmental Science. Today, in the class of Environmental Science, we will discuss about biodiversity conservation. Biodiversity conservation refers to the protection, preservation and management of ecosystem and natural habitats, as well as ensuring that they are healthy and functional. The various objectives of biodiversity conservation are: first, to maintain essential ecological processes and life supporting systems; second, to preserve the diversity of species; and third is to make sustainable utilization of species and ecosystems. With an aim to protect, preserve and propagate wildlife, Government of India has taken various steps to preserve and conserve forest. These steps include in situ conservation and ex situ conservation. Let's discuss about them in detail. In situ conservation or on-site conservation refers to the conservation of species within their natural habitats. This is the most viable way of biodiversity conservation. It is the conservation of genetic resources through their maintenance within the environment in which they occur. In situ conservation consists of protected areas, national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, sacred forests, and biosphere reserve. Protected areas. It is a protection and maintenance of biological diversity along with natural and cultural resources through various effective measures. There are about 37,000 protected areas. They are named as cold desert, hot desert, mangroves, saline, swampy areas, tropical, subtropical and temperate forest, wet evergreen forest, deciduous forest and coral reefs. There are many benefits of protected areas, such as to maintain genetic diversity of all species and varieties, to maintain viable population of native species and varieties. It also maintains communities, ecosystem, habitat to adapt to environmental changes as well as to check human-aided introduction of exotic species. A wildlife sanctuary is a naturally occurring sanctuary such as an island that provides protection for species from hunting, predation or competition. Wildlife sanctuaries are tracts of land with or without a lake where wild animals can take refuge without being hunted. Activities like forest product collection, harvesting of timber, private ownership of land, tilling of land are allowed. A wildlife sanctuary is created by government legislation, publicly or privately owned. The Chernobyl nuclear accident site has accidentally become a wildlife refuge. India has 515 sanctuaries covering nearly 3.6% of geographical area. Among them, the 41 tiger reserves are governed by Project Tiger only. National Park. National Park is an area having adequate ecological, faunal, floral, geomorphological, natural or zoological significance. The national park is declared for the purpose of protecting, propagation or development of wildlife or its environment. The activities like cultivation, grazing, forestry and habitat manipulation are not allowed in national parks. Although individual nations designate their own national parks differently, there is a common idea: the conservation of wild nature for posterity and as a symbol of national pride. Ex situ conservation. It involves protection and conservation of rare plants and animals outside their natural habitat in certain special protected regions like a zoo. Seed genes and sperms can be artificially preserved using cryopreservation techniques. In ex situ conservation, the first one we are going to discuss is off-site collections. Wild and domesticated plants and animals are preserved in botanical gardens, zoos, and arboreta gardens with trees and shrubs. More than 80,000 species are preserved in botanical gardens. Many mammals, birds, reptiles, and amphibians are kept in protected environments such as zoos and taken care of with good food and shelter. They are given conditions similar to that of natural habitat and well managed under captive breeding programs. Offsite collections play a major role in increasing number of depleted populations as well as restoring degraded habitats. It also helps in reintroducing them in the wild. The next one is seed banks. In seed banks, seeds remain viable under reduced moisture content, anaerobic condition, and 10 to 20 degrees Celsius temperature, such as cereals and legumes. They are treated with fungicides and then kept in humid atmosphere and oxygen for short duration. Orchards. All possible strains and varieties of plants having recalcitrant nature are grown and taken care. Example, lychee, oil palm, rubber tree, etc. Tissue culture or micropropagation. It is a quick and easy method to form identical genetically similar plants to form virus-free plants, seedless plants. This method helps to restore genotypes in small area, rapid multiplication of even endangered species. It helps in international exchange of germplasm in vegetatively multiplied plants which lack seeds like banana, grapes, etc. Cryopreservation. Cryopreservation is the only ex situ conservation method for long-term preservation of species that cannot be stored in seed banks, such as clonal crops or species with a low number or recalcitrant seeds. Now, let's discuss about Project Tiger. In India, various projects have been started for conserving of animals, such as Crocodile Breeding Project, Project Elephant, Operation Rhino, Save Barasingha Campaign, Gir Loin Project, and Project Tiger. Now, the question arises, what is the need of Project Tiger? Tiger is one of the key wildlife species in the faunal web. In 1973, government authorities realized that the tiger population had dwindled to 1827 from an estimated 55,000 at the turn of the century. The major threats to tiger population include poaching for trade, shrinking habitat, depletion of prey-based species, growing human population, and deforestation. Project Tiger was first initiated in the year April 1, 1973 and is still ongoing. The much-needed project was launched in Jim Corbett National Park, Uttarakhand, under the leadership of Indira Gandhi. There are around 51 parks and sanctuaries that are involved in this project. Around the 1970s, the tiger count was only 1,200, but according to the recent census, it has increased to 3,000. In fact, there has been a 30% rise in the population in the last 8 years. The funds are provided by the Government of India and the governments of the states where the tiger reserves are located. Project Tiger is administered by the National Tiger Conservation Authority. The overall administration of the project is monitored by a steering committee. Aims of Project Tiger are: first, to increase the population of tigers in natural habitat, to protect the national animal of India from extinction, to provide tigers a natural habitat for living, to check upon illegal poaching of tigers. The success of Project Tiger has been a driving force to protect many other endangered species as well as in protecting other wildlife species. Thank you.